Hard drives have been moving in a direction of more of a solid state storage, either onboard or devices like M2 NVMe drives, 2.5 solid state drives. The spinning disk drives are going out of favor, not just because the technology is getting older, but because they aren't quite as useful as what the newer technology does. Solid state drives are much faster, they are more expensive. A lot of companies that can afford a ton of these drives are switching over to them. A lot of the machines we're seeing are actually containing these types of drives. Tablets especially, they will either have M2 drives or they will have onboard storage. They're much more efficient than the older hard drives that we used to use a lot more of.
There are scenarios where SSDs are on the motherboard. They're actually present on the actual motherboard. Traditionally, we'd be able to just pull the hard drive and shred it. So with those SSDs that are on the motherboards, it brings up a couple issues. One is the fact that we now have to render that device useless by basically dismantling it and destroying that motherboard because the hard drive is present on that motherboard. And we can no longer recover the resale value of that device or reuse value of that device. We're going to recover the component value now at this point. We're taking that device and we're putting it to the end of its life. So instead of it getting a secondary life in an aftermarket, now it's rendered down to a component by shredding it, and there's no more life left on the device. There's no reuse left in that device. And that's what we're all about, is reuse and sustainability.
We follow essentially what NIST has set for us. They actually created 3 methods that you can use to destroy data. Your one is physically actually destroying it. It's dealing with end-of-life data. You could physically destroy the drive. That creates a lot of waste. It also removes the value entirely from it, barring a little bit of scrap. They also have the ability to either use logical techniques like rewriting over the drive, which is probably the most, I'd say, sustainable. It allows you to remove the data from the drive by checking what sectors physically have data on them, and it makes it so that the drive can be reused.
So we have a couple ways of basically proving to our customers that sanitization is as safe and secure as shredding. And one is our process. The drives go through the sanitization process itself. After the sanitization process, they have to go through a validation process to assure that each drive was sanitized. If it passes the validation process, we know the data on the drives is not replicable, not retrievable, and the hard drive is wiped clean with no bad sectors. So when we are sanitizing your drives, one of the requirements that most of our customers have is reporting requirements, certificates of sanitization, things of that nature. And that's exactly what we provide. Once we've sanitized your hard drives, we're going to provide you with reporting that's going to show you hard drive by serial number. So we're recording the serial number of each hard drive, but we're also recording the parent asset serial number. So whatever device that hard drive came out of, we're reporting that on your certificate of sanitization as well. So the biggest benefit to any organization when they choose to sanitize rather than shred the hard drives is reuse, and out of that reuse becomes value, return on your investment through our profit sharing program. So any devices that we are able to process, turn around, find a secondary life for, whatever that value, resale value of that device is, well, we want to turn around and profit share with you. And that's something that we cannot do if we're shredding the SSDs that are present on the motherboard, because at that point, the device is useless now. So we don't have that value that we can turn around and provide back in the form of a profit share.